Hello! I need to hydrate because apparently my voice is like bleh. But we're gonna fix that real quick.
I like your outfit tonight.
Thank you! It's been a while since I put on this little number.
Oh, man. I almost felt like I should have gone VTuber as well.
Nah, it's okay. It's okay. No worries.
So welcome in. This is Mori.
Hi, I'm Mori.
She's like one of my bestest friends, and she's great.
Thank you, Waba. Waba is best Waba.
No. Anyway, I'm gonna try not to be awkward around my bestest friend ever and say, hi, welcome in. We're talking about relationships and abuse. So do you have things to talk about that?
Yeah, you could say that.
Mori. We stand Mori.
Yeah, no, I've been through quite a bit. Yeah. And I have like a personality magnet towards like abusive situations. Because like for the longest time I was like super naive and like trusting, and like that almost like toxic optimism where like you really want to see the absolute best in people, like no matter what, until they until they like prove to you like without a shadow of a doubt, and even then you're still like really trying, like they're making it really easy for you to get the fuck out, but you're still just really trying to like see the good in that person.
Oh yes. And would you say that narcissists and abusers tend to take advantage of this niceness?
Oh, of course. I have a floating neon sign above my head saying, "This girl has been traumatized a lot and is willing to let anybody love her. Go." So, yeah.
Anyway, go validate Mori's existence and follow her on Twitch.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry.
That is the worst way to plug me. Oh my god.
I know, I'm sorry. Oh man.
Don't follow me unless you check out my content, and yes. I've absolutely earned it. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Absolutely. I mean, you can come for the booba and stay for the whatever the fuck else I do, but like mostly
chaos,
you know,
and ADHD.
That does actually sum up my content quite well. But like I really want to make sure that, you know, no matter what I do, I'm doing Mori, you know? So like I hope you guys come and stay for the Mori if you choose to come at all. And I do not know how to word things properly. That was not intentional. This time I promise I did not actually mean to do it innuendo. This is bad. Waba, shut me up.
Come for the Mori. Then come for the Mori. Then come for the Mori. Then question your life decisions. And then tier 3 sub.
Oh god. I need to turn down my movement because I'm not
You are bouncing, your boobs are in danger of escaping.
I mean, they can't escape because I've stress tested it, but you know, it's okay. Anyways, so how exactly do you plan on starting this off? Because I don't want to say, pull up a chair, Sonny. I'm going to tell you about when I was young.
I mean, that's basically it, because I was about to say, I'm going to sit here and pretend I don't know all the stories that you're probably about to unleash on my chat.
Oh, that's true. Like,
but I'm going to take them in more serious.
There might be a couple that you don't know about.
Oh, really? Oh, shit.
Oh, yeah. Because I've prepared myself, like mentally for this moment where, like, knowing that I was about to do this and I was about to be on Mental Health Monday.
Absolutely.
I wanted to make sure that what I talked about was not only, you know, something that I felt like could help people. Sure. And when talking about it, it could help people. But I also wanted it to help me. Because in a way, last time I did Mental Health Monday, it was a very positive experience for me and almost therapeutic. And I
As it should
really,
be.
I really had a great time talking through some of my other issues on this once upon a time. So, and you'll see some cross references, some things where the Venn diagram collides from my last appearance. For those of you remember me from when I
It's
was
like a year ago.
a year ago when I was in significantly less quality. Um, but you know, okay. So where do I begin?
So you were born in a log cabin in the middle of the Canadian woods. A moose licked you, and then that's how you existed into this world.
I'm pretty sure that's not what happened,
Oh, okay. I
actually.
thought that's how Canadians are born.
Once upon a time, um, uh, a couple with a heavy dose of generational trauma, as most parentals tend to have at this point, um, decided to bring in a girl into this world. And I mean, I don't think they chose for me to be a girl because you can't do that. But like, they decided to bring in a person into this world, and they tried for a really really long time, and and it just didn't happen. And then I finally happened, and that's why I'm an only child, is because they
Same.
had so much trouble.
Same.
Um, and my my mom, as a testament to her utter stubbornness, um, waited to close a deal on a very expensive sewing machine before leaving to go to the hospital to have me. Her water had broken. I was on my fucking way, but she waited. And that makes her a damn good businesswoman. But,
I
it
didn't know
also,
this, and I'm mad.
um, it makes her a damn good businesswoman, but I think it also kind of speaks a bit to the generational tone of what kind of a person my mom is. Um,
Mm.
and just a little bit of background information. Because I feel like as I continue to weave this tale of mine, you'll start to see some patterns here.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe just a tad bit.
Maybe a bit.
Maybe a bit. My dad named me. My name was not on the list of pre-discussed names. My dad decided that my name was my name, and my mom was too tired to care, as she put it. And so that was my name, and that's how I became me.
Oh no.
From there, um, we fast forward just a little bit, and I had been having, as far as I was aware, a pretty like normal childhood. As far as I was aware, there's bits and pieces that I remember of, my dad being a lot angrier than what was warranted. Of my my mom not being around a lot because she was always with the business, and everything that happened with all of that. But those are bits and pieces and scraping the bottom of the barrel of, how far back your memory reaches as a child.
Right.
The first time I ever experienced honest to goodness abuse was when everything started to happen all at fucking once.
Mm-hmm.
I was 10 years old, and I'm going to put a brief trigger warning. Most of the things that I have had to deal with in my life are strongly rooted in physical and sexual abuse, as well as emotional abuse.
Mm-hmm.
So, just for people to kind of be braced for it as we continue with this. Because, I want to also just say things as they happened.
Yep.
Because I've learned that no one takes you seriously if you try and sugarcoat or try and make things easier for people to stomach when you talk about what's happened to you. So now I've learned that I have to, if I'm going to do this, I gotta do this right, you know? So when I was 10 years old, we were at some sort of a birthday party at my grandmother's house. And my uncle and I, up until that point, had a fairly normal relationship. As far as, you know, what I could think back on, we play fought a lot. I wanted to be Kim Possible because I had like fiery red hair at the time, and she was the only like red-haired heroine that I could like look up to. And I wanted to just kick ass and be a badass, but I was 10, so I was not a badass. I wanted to be though. So we would play fight a lot, and one night at this birthday party, he was very, very, very drunk. I was sent to go and get some pop in the garage for my parents, and he was coming out of the washroom. And I recognize now that what I was smelling was alcohol, but I just like, you smell funny, you know? And his eyes were just like there wasn't a single like touch of like a person there. It was just drink. But I, like a dumbass, decided to spur on a play fight with him because that's what I fucking did. That's the only interaction I really had with that uncle. So he engages me in the play fight, but he catches my wrist. And he pulls out this pocket knife. And he holds the pocket knife to me, right up to my neck. And he said, you know, I could kill you right now. And no one would fucking care.
Jesus.
And from that moment on, things just kind of shattered for me. Because I had a pretty comfy sense of worth, of existence as, you know, this healthy, very, very bubble wrapped up until that point, but very, you know, I was a pretty happy kid. And I looked into his eyes and I became very, very aware that that wasn't really my uncle anymore. You know, the way that he was looking at me, the way that he was talking to me, you can feel sometimes like intent in people's voice and their eyes. No matter how much he will try to say in the future that he was joking, at the time he fucking meant it. So I screamed, and my mom came out and brought me into the bathroom and left me there to go deal with him and the other adults. And everything was swept under the rug, and no one ever talked about the incident ever again. Until recently, but that's a whole nother story for a whole nother time.
I wasn't going to say anything, but is that like the latest fucking thing that you were on about?
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck any of the family that says that like that was in any way okay or excuses your uncle.
So
fuck them.
That was the same year that I was getting heavily bullied in school, being someone with, at that time, undiagnosed ADHD,
right.
Undiagnosed learning disabilities.
As you do.
Someone with a lot of different quirks. As a child, I wanted to collect rocks. I didn't want to have friends at the time yet. I didn't quite understand the notion of like peopling just yet. Like I didn't understand the need to make human connection because I couldn't relate to any of the people in my midst. So it was more of a chore than anything, which made me an easy fucking target. So there was this one bully who really, really had it out for me. And this was the year that I finally decided to say something about it. So I told the teacher.
Mm-hmm.
I told the wrong teacher. I told the teacher that decided that she also had it out for me and that she was going to also make my life a living hell.
The fuck?
And she purposely paired me up with the person that was picking on me the hardest and who I'd explicitly complained about to share a locker so she could have access to all of my personal things.
How and why in the fuck does the teacher have it out for you? Like,
I do not know. I don't understand why she set to personally target me, whether she was just a cruel individual, or whether I made her feel something that made her want to target me. I will never know, because I was a fucking kid. But she decided that she was going to forced me to spend as much time with this person as possible. I had to join a friendship group and spend all of my after school time with this person. Anytime that person would do something to me, I would tell the teacher, and the teacher would hear the girl's side of the story and believe her, that I was making it all up. I got labeled as a pathological liar, that she couldn't trust anything that I said. And on my report card, I got does not work well with others, that sort of thing. And then I got sick.
Mm-hmm.
So, I got an infection, an abscess in my lymph glands, and it was very, very bad. A very large, swollen like mass in the side of my neck. It looked kind of gnarly actually, but it was not good in the slightest.
Right.
And I had to be hospitalized for about 3 months. And of course, my parents still had to run their business. So while my mom would stay over in the evenings, and my dad would come to visit me sometimes, I was spent alone. Spent my time alone in the hospital quite a bit. And I was not very good at being alone in the hospital already, because I had a very scary near-death-ish sort of experience in grade 2-ish sort of thing when I had pneumonia. And I couldn't breathe, and I spent a lot of time not being able to breathe in this scary white room. And that's really all I really remembered from it. So I was scared of this place. And of course, the nurses don't have time for my bullshit. They're just trying to do their job. They just want me to shut up and get better, pretty much. So, I know that they didn't need to give me morphine at all during the course of my illness, because I was not in any pain during the course of anything, and I did not need to go in for surgery. They need to give me antibiotics, which they put into my IV drip. But I'm 95% sure that they put morphine in, as well as something else to make me really sleepy all the time. Because it shut me up and kept me out of their hair, because whenever I was awake, I would be pressing the button for a nurse to come see me, because I didn't want to be alone in the hospital. And while I was very, very sleepy and drowsy and kind of in like a fever dream, pretty much, for most of my waking time in the hospital, I was being roomed with another girl for a little bit. But after I got moved away from that girl, her dad kept coming to see me, to talk to me, to hang out with me. And at the beginning, I thought he was just being really nice.
Mm-hmm.
And then he started to touch me.
What the fuck?
And I couldn't do anything about it, because I was like doped out of my mind on whatever it was they gave me to shut me the fuck up. And at that point, I already didn't trust my parents or my family very much because of what happened with my uncle, so I didn't feel like saying anything.
Right.
Because, what were they going to do about that?
Were they even going to do anything about it?
Would they believe me? Would they care? It didn't seem like people even cared at that point. Like, this thing had just happened. It was the same year. But, like, nothing
Is this hospital still up?
It. Oh, yeah, and they've had several malpractice suits over the years, too.
Probably not, but please tell me you fucking sued for malpractice. Like, Jesus Christ.
No, we did not. Because, of course, I didn't tell them about the thing.
Right.
The only reason why I ended up leaving the hospital when I did, because I still technically needed treatment, is that he decided to come at night once when my mom was sleeping with me, and she caught him in his underwear in my room.
Oh my God.
And he ran out, and they found him hiding in the closet of one of the other girls' rooms. And my mom said, "We're fucking leaving this hospital right now. You're going to discharge her. We can take care of her from home if she needs to give her more antibiotics, but she's not staying here."
Jesus Christ.
And they chose not to tell me about that for quite some time.
What do you mean they chose not to tell you about that?
Well, they chose not to tell me that they caught the guy in my room for quite some time.
Oh, you didn't even know?
I didn't even know, because they didn't want me to, like, feel like I was in any danger, but they had no idea because I didn't tell them anything. And so one day they just, in idle conversation, like, brought that up, about that's a thing that happened, and I'm just sitting there, like, absolute, like,
bruh, what the fuck
happened? Because for the longest time, up until that point, I kind of told myself, well, what if that didn't happen? What if it was just, the medicine that they gave me was making me feel funny, and, I just didn't, maybe I'm imagining these things. Maybe it didn't happen quite like that,
Yeah.
But when my mom deadass told me, after me never telling her anything about this, that she saw this guy in his underwear in my room, well, then I'm like, well, shit, I can't tell myself that didn't happen anymore. You know? I no longer have an excuse out of, like, not accepting that trauma. It happened now. Well, fuck me, I guess. Yeah. So, and all this while, I felt pretty worthless, because I was starting to see actually how small and disposable at the time I was, being alone for so long, being, I was not cared for by the people that were in charge of my education. I was not cared for by my family, who was supposed to be protecting me. And I went through, the majority of, like, my high school years, and beyond, really feeling that. And I never really, recovered from the whole not wanting to people thing. I decided once, and only once, to try and, like, talk to somebody that I kind of knew about, like, what had happened with my uncle when it was, like, super fresh. Because I didn't know who to talk to about that, and, like, and they decided to, like, spread it around the school.
Oh my God.
And then, of course, it escalated from there, as the rumors do. And, like, people would, like, make fun of me for
what?
A rumor about something that was even more traumatic than, like, what actually happened. Like, that's something to pick on someone about.
Haha, your uncle threatened your life and told you you're fucking worthless. Haha. Like, what?
Yeah, well, the rumor got around that I was, like, letting my uncle touch me or something like that.
Oh my God.
So then, now I kind of immediately got, like, shoved into the whore box.
Right.
And,
of course.
like, I'm 10. Like, we're just starting to breach.
I am 10.
I'm 10, guys, okay? we're just starting to breach like puberty levels of shit. Like not even really, but we're just barely getting there. But like, oh yeah, no, I'm a mega whore, guys. Okay.
Yeah, totally.
So,
Fuck.
we fast forward a little bit because my personal relationships with people in high school, they never really got much better. It was always like this weird Klingon situation where I was around the people that kind of wanted me around, sort of. I was a part of their aesthetic. So they wanted me in their crowd so I could be a part of the aesthetic. But not necessarily because they wanted to hang out with me, you know? So I had terrible social skills. I had all of the social skills of like a trained monkey. I just knew, the lyrics of a bunch of My Chemical Romance songs, and I
Like any
smoked a
budding
bunch of
teenager.
weed, and I really didn't have like my own voice or my own anything up until that point. But, then I started to get to that age of, well, I think I really want like a boyfriend. Because I hadn't even really like fully accepted my sexuality at that point either. Like, I was a little gay kid, and I've always been a little gay kid because like the moment that I saw, like, I think it was when Ellen married her wife, is like, oh, Ellen married her best friend at such and such and such, and I'm like, wait, you can fucking do that? And then I'm like, oh, that's an option I never really considered. That sounds cool. And then promptly kind of forgot about that train of thought for a bit because no, I'm supposed to do this whole I like guys thing. And guys are fine. Like, I still enjoy men, like, as a sexuality, but I've now had a very complicated experience with men. So, but women pretty.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to women, so I mostly go for guys. It's complicated, but getting back onto the subject.
You are pansexually valid, my friend.
I am pansexual, very much so, and it panics me sometimes, but
It's the gay panic.
It's the gay panic.
We understand.
So I got around to, thinking, yeah, I think I'd like to maybe have myself a boyfriend. And so I'm like, well, how the fuck do I do that? So I went online.
Mori, do you want a guide on how to get a boyfriend? I got one for you. It's 7 years in the making. You date a girl who says they're a lesbian, and then it turns out that they're actually a boy the whole time. That's how I got a boyfriend. Never thought I'd be in this position, but here we are.
You know what? Perfect plan. 10 out of 10. Maybe I'll try that sometime.
It's worked out.
But so I went online, and I was a part of this online chat room that I definitely should have been not on at my age.
Some AOL, ASL.
Oh yeah,
shit.
oh yeah. And you had like little avatars, and I would draw those avatars, and that's how I got like really good at one style of drawing and only have like 4 faces, because they all looked like kind of Barbie dolls in this like hyper realistic, almost comic book style. And I loved the outfits, and I used to create for and everything, and that was normally kind of what I was there for. But sometimes you could talk to people, and like some of them were interesting, and I felt so much more confident when I was talking just in text.
Right.
So I find someone who's like the emo daydream, and cute emo avatar, which looked super ooh-woo rar XD cute with my ooh-woo rar XD emo avatar.
Ooh-woo rar XD.
Pretty much the
Snuggles pounces on you.
Oh yeah, for sure. The whole fucking like ooh emo cringe package.
The whole song.
And we were living that fantasy online for a little bit, and then he let slip that he lived in Vancouver, which is where I'm from. And I'm like, well, maybe we should do a not so online thing then if we both live in the same area.
Right.
And so I convinced my mom that I know this person from not online.
Oh my god.
And we meet each other, and we start dating. And immediately, he says to me, "You're great and all, but if an Asian ever comes on to me, I will leave you." And my first thought is, well, I guess I'll be as good as I can be for you until an Asian comes along, because this is what I have.
I'm sorry, I've been sitting here the whole time just respectfully listening, and then that racist shit comes out, and I'm like, alright, I've lost it, I'm done.
Which, shouldn't have been just a red flag. It should have been like an entire parade of red flags with neon red signs that, girl, get the fuck out of there. But this was
Girl,
my first
run.
relationship, period. And
Girl,
this was the
run.
first human of any gender that has shown me any kind of interest on the romantic and sexual spectrum. I was desperate with all capital letters, and I was so attention starved that it did not fucking matter that he already straight up told me how fragile this relationship we had was. That I was already hanging on by a thread with him, and I was just good enough until something better came.
Oh my god.
I'm like, well, this is what I deserve. This is fine. This is what I can get. This is what I can get. And it's fine, because so long as I make myself indispensable and as good as I possibly can be, he's not going to leave. And that's what I did.
Right, obviously.
So the moment that he wanted to have sex, I did it. And it didn't matter that it was the exact opposite of anything that I'd ever been dreaming of. Up until that point, I had romanticized losing my virginity so much.
Right.
I wanted it to be in a bed with the candles and the rose petals and like some sort of like R&B slow jam cheesy shit. I wanted it to be romantic as shit. I wanted someone who would tell me that they loved me and, the whole thing. Hold my hand and shit, like the whole package.
I don't know if we can talk about that on Twitch.
Oh, I know, I'm sorry.
You can talk about fucking and butt licking, but no hold handing.
Oh, yeah. What happened I gave him head in an aquarium bathroom, and then...
As one does.
And then I lost my virginity under the bleachers by the corkscrew at a horror carnival while Michael Myers' Halloween theme was playing. And that's where I got my goth card.
Right.
And I hated it. I hated it completely. It did not feel even remotely good because I was writing and he was barely there. Like, it wasn't that he was small, it was just...
Starfish.
He was starfished and half chub because it was freezing, but so, eager that this is where we were doing it and we weren't going to wait, that, okay, I guess I just went along with it.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there on, after we did it and we walked around the carnival for a bit, it was only then that, he kissed me for the first time. We never, even, kissed or did anything, super romantic up until that point.
Everyone knows you gotta fuck first, kiss later.
And he gave me a bunch of forehead kisses and held my hand. And that's when the cycle began of, he would make me do something progressively more and more outside of what my sexual comfort zone was. And in return, he would show me, the bare minimum of decency and affection in a relationship. He would make me flash strangers. He would make me do stuff like show things on Omegle, and I was just barely legal at this time. There was a small portion of time when I like wasn't even legal, but like
You are 17, going on Chris Hansen, Dateline, NBC.
pretty much. And then at 18, the moment I turned 18, he signed me up for a campsite, and I began camming.
I was about to ask, is this the guy that yeah.
Yep. And so he made me do that for a bit. I made almost no money out of it. Actually, no, I didn't make a single fucking cent from it. And people were horrible to me on there because even though I was an anorexic teenager, I was still fairly big boned. You could see my ribs, but I had a bunch of bass still. And they still thought that I was fat. And some of them were super into that. And then there was, of course, the really creepy people that's like, oh my gosh, did you just turn 18? You know?
Oh my god.
Because I'm legal pedophilia, pretty much.
Pretty much.
And the more I would tell him about all this whorish stuff that I was doing, the more that I would get a little bit of validation from him.
Right.
And then he started talking about other women.
Oh my god.
He would talk about, I saw this girl and she was Asian and she had such a fat ass and I really wanted to grab it on the bus, but I didn't. So you should be lucky.
Yes, I should be so lucky that you decided not to cheat on me and sexually harass this other woman that you saw. Lucky me.
And, you know, and then he would tell me little bits and pieces of stuff like that, showing me how disposable again I was, that no matter how much I'd done for him at that point, that like the moment he got something better, he was going to go. And so, one of my friends that I use with the loosest term possible, because they were not my friends, they were an aesthetic, they were having a fight with their boyfriend, and they got my boyfriend's like Snapchat and sent them pictures, and they agreed to like meet up. Because she wanted to make her boyfriend jealous, so she decided to use my boyfriend to do that because she was Asian and he was just so weak to Asians, right? That there was absolutely no way that he could have ever rejected her.
Oh yeah, clearly never.
But then, he didn't really have an excuse for, like, all of my other friends. He then subsequently tried to message and hit up after he managed to succeed with this one Asian girl. It was only until one of my friends decided to talk to me about it that I realized, well, shit. Maybe this isn't so great. And she had me block and delete him in class at all in unison. And till this day, it's been years, but to this day, he still makes, like, new social media accounts to try and find me.
Oh my god. This is all the same dude, too.
This is all the same dude. This is just one of my relationships.
I remember you telling me that, like, there's this guy that keeps fucking coming back and coming back and coming back and coming back.
Oh, yeah, that's this one.
Oh, my god.
This was the person that could get rid of me so easily and get something better. But he always keeps popping in. Trying to pop in. And, it took a long time for me to... I don't know if I can even say that I'm fully over this one. But the thing is I never really had time to get over this one because I just kept plunging into the next one, and the next one, and the next one. And, I had people do all sorts of wonderful, like, ghost tactics on me for the next little bit of online relationships. Someone even faked their death to get away from me because they couldn't just say I'm not interested in you.
Jesus.
And I met my first ever girlfriend, and she was amazing. Like, she was showing me, like, actual human decency. The problem is that because this was the first time that I'd ever actually had, like, what was even remotely close to a healthy relationship, I became obsessive and made it unhealthy because she became my entire world. Because this was the only source of, like, love coming to me. And I needed that all the time. And she was still transitioning. She had a lot to go through.
Mm-hmm.
She was a little bit older than me. She had life that she was working. She was already starting to, like, pay rent and shit. And, like, she did not have the emotional space to nurture me the way that I needed at that time. And so she had to call things off. And I was crushed. She was not abusive in the slightest, but it was because I got just this tiniest taste of what good is. It sent me fucking reeling. And I was so depressed for so long. I went back to doing a lot of that quote unquote horseshit that I used to do for my ex. Trying to find validation. Trying to find some sort of positive feeling because I was associating all of these things with, you know, if you're appealing sexually, someone might love you someday. Became like my general mantra of how I was supposed to exist.
Yeah.
So long as I was hot and I was able to appear hot to people, I had value. And that's when I met the next problem child. And he truly was a man-child. I look back at that now and I understand that. But he saw a fucking golden opportunity. Yep. Because I was hollow. I was a walking aesthetic. And all of my personality was so easy to just make disappear. So he made me exactly what he wanted. I dyed my hair. I became a pretty little bleach blonde.
Oh my god.
I was his trophy girlfriend.
Right.
He was going to he had me drop out of school. Quickly go through another shorter thing to get a degree quicker so I can move out. Which I was already wanting to move out because of all of the issues that I'd been having with my parents. Because I'd been living with a dad that was always kind of emotionally abusive. He has trouble controlling his temper, and he always took it out on myself and my mom. And he had a bit of a drinking problem growing up. So, I had this need to get the fuck out, and I'd always been planning to get the fuck out. And I started to see him as the ticket. That's my way out. This is how I'll get out. If he helps me, I'll get the fuck out. And so he steered me to get to a shorter education so I could leave. And then he decided that that wasn't quick enough, so he wanted to just find me school out on the island where he lived, and he could come and I could come live with him in this big house with all of his fancy cars and all
Step
his
2, isolate.
jewelry. And you know, I mean, I really didn't have any friends anyway, so what's the big deal, right?
Yeah, no one's gonna miss you.
And then
oh my god.
He started to talk down to me. I had gotten quite into kink as a part of my search for validation. And in my sexual journey, I became very much into pet play, which is a lot of, good girl, and I love that shit in the right context. But he began to take it out of sexual scenarios and started talking to me like I was a pet 24/7. And he would text me as like, oh right, I forgot you need a babysitter. You're so little and helpless.
Ew.
And
So he was infantilizing you.
yeah. He made me so small, and he talked to me like I was a fucking 3-year-old. And at the time, I couldn't quite see where the deviation happened until all of a sudden that's all he talked to me as, and we couldn't have a conversation anymore.
No, there's no conversation he doesn't respect you.
And it was around Christmas time that I woke up, and a few weeks before, he had tried to set up some sort of a test to test my loyalty, because he was convinced that I was cheating on him, despite the fact that I was already preparing to like completely isolate myself from everyone that I knew to be with him. But he'd always kind of talked about this like kind of kidnap fantasy that he had, that he wanted to like take me and tie me up and then do all sorts of like sexual things to me, and I'm like, okay, fine, I'm kinky, I'm down for that. So he starts messaging me from this other account on, I think it was Kick at the time, but I could fucking tell it was him. Because he uses the same profile picture for fucking everything.
Doesn't try to cover up his tracks very well.
He didn't try to cover up his tracks very well at all. So I'm talking to him about it. And, I'm where we're going through all of this, and then, I give a fake address, and I'm all in this role play and whatnot. And then he texts me as him, and he's like, you cheated on me. And like, what? But I'm talking to you. What the fuck? And I like failed his test, and he was totally going to break up with me. And I'm like, no, don't
failed his test.
And then,
oh my god.
And then I pleaded for this asshole to stay because I was so codependent on him. And about a week or two afterwards, and it was just before Christmas, I wake up, and he used to, back when he was love bombing me, when he used to give me big fancy gifts, he would also wake me up with these long paragraphs of everything that he loved about me and how pretty I was and how amazing I was. So I woke up and I got one of these long texts from him, and I was so excited. Only the paragraph was everything that he needed me to change.
Oh.
I had just started to fully recover from my eating disorder at that time, because somehow during all of this abuse, I was somehow able to get enough from the love bombing, enough of the positive reinforcement to like love myself enough to stop being so horrible to my body. And I was starting to eat more, and he would cook for me, so I was starting to eat more. I was finally starting to put on a little bit of weight, so I couldn't fucking see my ribs anymore. But now I'm fat, and I'm going less and less attractive to him as every day passes, and I need to change this, because I was damn near perfect when he met me, and now I'm not perfect anymore. And I was almost getting ready to start changing everything. And then I just had this sudden moment of, wait, why? Why am I doing this? What the actual fuck am I doing?
Yeah.
And so I left him.
Good for you.
Cold contact, just cut right there.
We fucking applaud that shit. Hell yeah.
And so, and it was a week or so after that I went to this wedding, and it was a friend's wedding, and I meet this guy.
Yeah.
And I sit down on the floor as we're supposed to be taking down the wedding, but we just sit down on the floor. After I made an absolute fool of myself. I was shoving my face with chocolate strawberries, and one of my friends dragged him over to introduce him to me, and I was just covered in chocolate, and I didn't have a free hand to shake him with, so I tossed the little ball of like wide up strawberry heads over my shoulder and like, hi, and so he could finally shake my hand. And then we just sat down on the floor and we had an honest to God conversation just about anything and everything. And I suddenly had this, what the fuck? Because it was the first time in a very long time that I sat down and had like a full conversation with somebody.
Aww.
And so I ended up entering a relationship with this person. And you know what? For about a year, it was the healthiest relationship I ever had. They had family issues, though. Mm-hmm. Their family was very Christian. Mm-hmm. And their family was so Christian that it led to like some really deep family trauma that affected like the entire family. Like, because of like his grandfather's heavy-handedness, like one of his uncles ended up taking their own life.
Jesus.
And that was the kind of toxic environment that his parents grew up in. Well, his mom grew up in, but his dad was a recovering drug addict, so he was a born-again Christian, so he fit right in. And of course, born-again Christians, not always, but sometimes are very, very zealous for this new religion because it's like a substitution for, you know, the drugs, because they're getting high off the emotions that come with the community and all of that.
Right.
So they were very religious. I, at this point, was no longer subscribed to the Christian faith, and I
Your subscription to Christianity has ended.
My subscription to Christianity had ended for quite a while ago, and I was testing which light. We were going down our little pagan route, just to see where things were gonna take me, because the idea of having, you know, a strong female figure is something to like, you know, look up to as a moral standpoint, as opposed to this patriarchic, misogynistic, racist asshole that thinks incest is cool, was just not really vibing with me. No offense to the Christians who may or may not be in this chat, because, you know, that's a talk for another time. I never once really had the religion talk with this person. Mm-hmm. They always just kind of assumed I was Christian, because isn't everybody?
No.
No. The answer for that is no. But whenever we would have, like, religious-ish discussions, I would voice my opinions on the matter. I would just not name names, name religions, name a following, because I didn't really feel like I was even fully subscribed to that following yet. I was just hashing out theological philosophy. Mm-hmm. So, and I got him to agree with everything that I had said. It was only until, you know, you slapped the big P on it that it became a problem. Because then now I was directly against him on the spectrum, and I needed to change. I was given a very quick and sudden ultimatum about how I needed to convert, or this relationship...
Wait, what is the big P in this instance? I'm sorry.
Paganism.
Paganism, right. Okay.
Because, you know, that's the exact opposite of the Abrahamic one God religion.
For some reason.
For some reason. It's not like they stole all of our holidays or anything, but
Still half your
that's
traditions.
besides the point.
It's fine.
It's fine. I was given this very sharp and sudden ultimatum.
You have to
And
be
this
Christian.
is where you have to be a Christian or this isn't gonna work. And I'm like, well, I guess it's not gonna work.
Yeah, good for you.
Because for the first time, I actually somehow had a bit of a backbone. I had a healthy relationship with this person up until this point, you know? And I suddenly had, like, somehow because it was a healthier relationship, maybe because he didn't gaslight me the entire way through, the ultimatum just felt stupid. There was no reason for me to, like, you know, cave to his demands. Because...
Yeah. And I agree completely as well, because I think healthy relationships should enable you to have, like, a backbone, have your own fucking point of view about things. Like, you're allowed to disagree. And be your own person, you know?
And so, you know, and I thought that things were finally starting to, like, go my way. Right? I was starting to develop a better sense of self.
That's great.
But it's right after this little arc of things, now trouble with family got worse.
Where are we age-wise right now, by the way?
We are, I would say...
like, this is like 18, 19, 20 now, right?
We're in 20s. We're in the 20s.
Okay. And you're currently 23, right?
I am currently 23.
Yeah, so we're getting pretty close to home.
We're getting pretty close to home. So, my family situation was always kind of not very great.
Yeah.
But it was only until this point that things suddenly took the turn for worst. I was trying to be more open and honest with my parents and try and engage more in conversation with them. And I began to realize that my mom wouldn't really talk to me. I used to describe my mom as someone that I could, I used to describe to her as someone I could talk to about anything. Because once upon a time, I said, hi, I think I really need a vibrator. And she's like, okay, let's go to the store and let's do this shit. You know, let's go and get you one. That's fine. We stand positive sexuality in this house, you know?
Yeah.
But somehow it was also, but we're hiding this from your father.
Right.
Okay, fine, whatever. When my dad goes snooping through my room and finds that I have a vibrator, which I've been using for years now, he cries like an absolute baby, like, oh my gosh, she's having sex. And I'm like, well, first off, if I was, so what? But also, I mean...
He cries.
He cried. He cried.
Huh?
He actually cried that he found my toys. First off, that stopped him from fucking going in my room.
Good.
But also...
It's weird that he was snooping through it.
It is weird, isn't it? But he cried. He had this absolute meltdown that I'd,
His little baby wasn't innocent or something? Like, hello?
Something like that, yeah.
Father, have you met me? Do you know me at all? Like...
But my mom completely denied any role in me ever having these or any knowledge whatsoever. To my face, in front of my dad. And I suddenly realized, wait, if you won't stand up with me about something that you literally helped me do, help me encourage, help me explore, what the fuck will you not help me with?
Everything.
And so, we get to this point where I'm starting to try and talk to my mom, and she won't talk with me. Like, I'll try and talk at her, try and say something of interest to me to try and garner a conversation, but she wouldn't really respond much. She would, like, be intentionally looking at her phone or doing something else. Maybe, like, soft, whatever. And then she would, like, shift the conversation to something that I wasn't doing well.
Of course.
You know, you're not doing laundry well enough. Oops, I'm depressed. I'm not good at self-care. You're not bathing enough. Oops, I'm depressed. I'm not good enough at self-care. You don't seem to like to cook. I get stressed whenever I'm in the kitchen with you guys because you guys are perfectionists and you also have made me feel anxious in the kitchen. And I wasn't really allowed to do that for like ever, so now like it's just a thing that I feel like I'm not supposed to do, even though I'm very much supposed to. You never go out anywhere. Well, that's because you never let me go out anywhere until like now. And now you just expect for me to go out everywhere. Except you also don't, because you still need to know exactly where the fuck I am, so if I want to do anything fun, like I actually can't, unless I have a good lie. And, you know, oh, you should go out with your friends. I currently only at the time had like one person from high school that I still talk to. And even then, you know, our relationship was like we talk with we only talk like every once a couple of months or whatever. It's not a you just go out and hang out with this person kind of situation. And I'm realizing, well, she has not been very involved, like at all, with any of this. And she never really seems to see my struggle. And I began to realize that, you know, it wasn't just one problem parent. It was the problem parent and the savior parent with just as much of like a narcissistic personality as the bad parent, but because she was protecting me from my dad, she also she did that so that she could get my attention and my affection and my dependence, but she never actually really wanted to give me anything either, you know. And we still don't have conversations about stuff, like to this day. You know, once upon a time, you know, we're going for a trip, and my dad has this thing where he gets really wound up and really, really pissed off at the world when we're going on a trip because we have to leave somewhere. And he needs to, and he's so angry as we're packing up until we leave. It's this weird thing. He gets so agitated, and he needs us to move. Move. So, it was a rainy, slippery kind of August, maybe October day. Leaves were on the ground, so maybe October.
Sure.
And so, you know, he's rushing us through the motions. I slip on a leaf while I'm carrying shit. I snap my ankle. It gets like really badly twisted.
Ow.
And so he immediately says, well, it's my shoes. It has to be my shoes. It wasn't good enough. You need to get new shoes. We've been begging you for months to get new shoes. I'm too broke to get new shoes. But you need to go and get new shoes. This is all the shoes' fault. I'm like, it's just really slippery right here. And my shoes are fine. They still have tread on them. But okay, fine, whatever. And then he went to the spot and he started dancing around on the spot saying, oh, it's so slippery. Making fun of me for,
I want to kill your dad for other reasons, just FYI. But like...
and my protector parent, my mom, didn't stand up for me at all. You know, he never asked me if I was okay. He wanted me to stand up. He wanted me to get out of the way
because you're fine.
of being outside.
You're not hurt, you're just in the way.
Because I was hollering. He didn't want the neighborhood to notice that I was hollering. Yeah. So he needed me inside so I wouldn't make a scene.
How dare you embarrass him with your pain.
And I'm like, no, just give me a fucking minute. I'm in way too much pain to stand up right now. And so, then, you know, he went and got my mom to go deal with me. And my mom finally helped me up. Like, helped me stand. And then he made fun of me and all of that. But, like, mom never really stood up for me either, you know? Never, like... I told my dad, like, dead ass, like, to his face, that was really mean. And he's like, it's your shoes. it's there's just all your shoes full. But it's like he didn't really comment on the fact that he had directly, made fun of me. He's just still now back to misdirection. We're talking about your shoes now. You need to go and get new shoes next time we go out. And I hate going shoe shopping because they always make me pick the ugliest shoes that is the cheapest that they can afford, because I can't afford new shoes either. And no shoes ever feel good on my feet because I need like super expensive special like inserts for my shoes and stuff, and it's complicated and it's icky, and it's such a stressful situation. I'd rather do it on my own terms, but like they make me do it, which makes me want to do it less.
Of course. Because they're making
and
you.
so and there became more direct aggression towards me in the household.
Mm-hmm.
I would go downstairs and my dad would say, "Oh, you look terrible." And like, yeah, whatever, I'm just tired. He's like, "No, but you look terrible." And it's like, thanks. I'm great. Thank you for telling me. And then he'd be like, "You're giving me so much sass, so much attitude,
You're the one who's coming at me sideways.
Terrible,
The fuck am I supposed to take with that? What am I supposed to do with that information? Like, you're actively playing a role in depleting your daughter's self-esteem, and I'm supposed to be happy about this?
And like, just a couple of, not even a week ago, 2 weeks ago, maybe somewhere between like a week and a half ago, I was first off, actually no, we're backing up. I'm not skimping on this mom and dad shit. God damn it, no, I'm not. They suddenly decided that my grandma was dying, which she's not, but we're still doing this anyway.
Yeah, I remember that. It happened like a month ago that they decided that she was dying.
They decided that my grandma was dying, and that, because her dementia was getting worse, we needed to see her more often, which is fine, but that they were going to commandeer one day of my life for the rest of indefinitency, and that we were going to go see her every single one day. And I'm like, okay, if she's deteriorating as quickly as you're saying, I need time to process this, so could we do like every other week? Maybe adjust our schedules accordingly as we feel like it. The moment I say adjust our schedules, they're like, you just want to do your computer shit. You don't actually care about your grandmother, and if she dies, it's all your fault. If you have any regrets whatsoever, it's all your fault. And my mom said that, she went to work one day when her grandma was sick, and then she died, and she felt bad about that, and it was all her fault. So it's all my fault if I don't spend enough time with my grandmother. And I'm like, first off, that I couldn't say this to her, but I'm thinking like, this is kind of a you problem. The generational trauma is real.
Literally.
And also, the fuck, it's supposed to be. This is really hard on me. And it has been hard on me.
I know.
Because grandma is deteriorating quite a bit. She's not dying right now, but oh yeah, she is projecting for sure.
Hardcore.
100%. Hardcore projection. But while she's not actively dying, my grandpa was closer to dying than my grandma was, because he was battling cancer. But he's in remission now, so we're good on this front. We're, for the first little bit, things were actually kind of at this really steady, nobody's actively dying right now sort of thing. But she was starting to lose her memory and stuff, and constantly throwing myself into the position where she doesn't remember a lot about me specifically is hard. And they've been subjecting me to this, weekly, because the moment that I even tried to negotiate, and this will go along I'm probably gonna have to go along with this until like I move out and start
Mm-hmm.
making other like plans for myself. Like this is just the state of the union right now.
Or she dies, and for some
Or she
reason they're
dies.
going to still blame you for it because
Oh
you
yeah,
feel
they
sad
will.
about it.
Yeah, they will.
How
For
dare you
sure.
feel sad and grief about your grandmother? Clearly, that means that you regret something, and it's all your fault that she died. Mori,
Yeah.
how would you like to attend 3 funerals?
Oh god, I really I I've already seen so many funerals, man.
I mean, you don't have to. No one's don't. I'm not gonna make you. But like,
But so, you
before
know,
grandma goes.
it's been very hard, you know,
Oh
dealing
my
with all of that. Um and you know, the moment that I even tried to like talk about this reasonably. They already had in their mind that I was trying to do this on like a strictly, you know, I just don't want to spend time with my grandparents way of thinking when, you know, no, that's never been it at all. Um and they immediately projected that like onto me, and they're like, oh, but we don't really want to do this every day, like every week either, but we have to. Like, who's making you? What are you?
You
How
don't
dare
what?
you even try and say that
The
to me?
amount of mental gymnastics that your parents do on 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 a weekly basis for your entire fucking life is just, it's astounding. It is absolutely fucking astounding. And I'm always sad here when you tell me this shit, either in DM or VC, and I'm just like, damn, I wish I fucking TOS, 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 TOS.
Yeah.
Me
So
and
once
Potch are
upon
gonna
a
go camping
okay,
up in
okay,
Canada.
okay.
I know whereabouts you live, so
hmm
probably can find
So
it in our
once upon a
DMs.
time, I like finally
Who wants to go
kind of
camping?
decide to say, I tell my parents, you know, okay, this whole thing that happened with my uncle, it actually really affected me, in case you
Yeah.
guys never noticed because you didn't. And I've been talking about it. Actually, I lied and said that I was talking about it in therapy. I haven't even gotten to this point in my therapy because I'm mostly just talking about my relationship with them.
I'm your first.
Yeah, this is the first time that I've, like, aside from, like, a couple people that are super close to me, this is the first time that I've really aired out this amount of dirty laundry, and I'm doing it live, so fuck me, I guess. It's just that it's like
Live.
ripping off a band-aid, you know? You gotta do it, like, all
Goes
in
up on
one
YouTube
shot.
if you want it to.
It's fine, it's fine. Um, so, I finally kind of said, hey, you know, this is bothering me. I have heavy fucking trauma. This is bothering me. I need to get over this. I have an issue with this. And I never got any reaction from them. Like when I was talking to them about it, stone faced. Absolutely stone faced. Listened. Oh, they listened enough to retain the information, but they never showed like any kind of like empathy or whatever when they listened to me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and they just took it and they said, "Okay, cool, I guess." You know, we've parentals will remember this, and they did, because again, now going back to the story that I was gonna tell, about a week and a half ago, we're casually talking with my grandmother and my grandfather on our regular Thursday visits.
Sure.
And we're talking about my uncle. My uncle, you know, when he decided to threaten a child,
Mm-hmm.
you know, that didn't get him
As you do.
excommunicated from the family.
No. Of
But
course
him
not.
deciding to be an anti-vaxxer, now that is the line.
Is
That's
that
what
what
got
happened? Oh my god.
that got him, you know, kicked from the family. Now
Now
he's the
he's
bad
kicked.
guy.
Yeah.
So, they're talking to my parents about him, and
God.
all of a sudden, out of nowhere, my dad says, "Oh yeah, well, he's been really mean to our kid too." And then everybody
What?
looks at me, and he doesn't even elaborate. It's like, "Well, this is bothering you, right? So, talk." And I'm now made to tell
On
my
the spot.
aging grandparents on the spot. We were just having a random idle conversation, and suddenly now we're here. And I need to talk about all of this trauma. I'm sitting on my grandmother's couch, not like a full, couple of meters away from where it actually fucking happened. And my grandmother has dementia. So when she heard me describe what happened, she started to react to it like it was the first time she heard it and like it had just happened.
Yeah.
And it was the first time I got any kind of emotional response from anybody in my family when discussing a matter of trauma. And it was the most horrifying and validating thing that I'd ever experienced. Because I was so messed up. Because for a few moments, I had this rush of, she heard me,
What did she say? How'd she respond?
She's like, "I never knew anything like that happen, She's like, who would do something like that? That's so horrible,
Aww.
You were just a kid. I never knew, And, to her credit, she thinks she never knew,
Oh my
Dementia
God.
is a horrible, horrible thing.
Yeah.
But now she's just listening to it like it happened, like, today.
Yesterday, right? Yeah.
And she's crying.
Wow.
It's the first time I ever saw my grandmother cry. And she's just bawling her eyes out. And I have to stop telling my story and tell her, "Grandma, it's okay. Don't worry about it. I'm a strong woman now. It's okay. Don't worry about it,
Aww.
Right? And I no longer, I couldn't finish, I couldn't go into any more of the details of it because, Grandma had heard enough, and this was not the time and place. This was the only time and place I got, but it was not the time and place.
Yeah.
And now there's a whole family war going on because,
What?
because now my grandparents want to do something about it.
Oh my God.
And now there's a huge divide because my uncle's side of the family used to be in super duper control of how everything worked in our family. They ran the show, and they're a big reason on why everything got swept under the rug for so long.
Right.
But now that they're kind of out of the picture, people now want to do something about it. But, what can you do?
They see
You can't do
opportunity or they see
anything.
money or something. Or power.
And the thing is that
Weird. Okay.
now it's like,
Can I just say something real quick?
yeah.
I shouldn't say this, but
I was kind of used as a bargaining chip, honestly, in a political family battle.
Yes, there's that. I'm 7 different ways about this. Because I'm like white people, robots in disguise. But also it's just generational trauma. And Jesus fucking Christ, I know it's more than just that, but there's a privilege to it, there's a power to it. There's the sexism aspect of this. There's there's everything. Just literally every fucking angle. Intersectionality is fucking real, people. We talk about it all the time. But good lord. A lot of fucking sexism and ingrained just power dynamic bullshit combined with the trauma, generational trauma that everyone's oh, we gotta pick a side, and for some reason this makes us feel important because we say, you know, oh, we're for the fact that like so and so's daughter, because I don't think you're even a person to these people. You're just so and so's daughter, probably, if I had to guess.
Yeah.
You know, you're not a person, just an object.
And I always was, you know.
Yeah.
They would talk about my achievements, like I was something, like
they wanted you to achieve me so they could fucking sound good, like they were good parents and they were good people, and they gave them fucking power because, hey, look at what the thing I made did.
Every time they were ever like so exceptionally proud of me, it was stuff that they could talk about.
Yeah, it's disgusting. It's disgusting. I forgot the fucking term for it. It's like, it's literally token kind of ism of like, oh, look at what the thing I made, that it did a thing. Yeah. I'm so proud of it. Like, just living weirdly vicariously through your achievements for stuff that they couldn't achieve themselves. But it's fine. They're good people and good parents, and
that's why I was never really allowed to think about what I wanted to do for my life. Yeah. You know, from high school, I wasn't allowed to think for a second about what I really wanted to do. From high school, I went to college. There was no space in between. I had to go to college. So I ended up picking something to go to school in that I was going to enjoy going to school for. Right. Because, not necessarily because that there was a future at the end of it, because there really wasn't. I was, I wound it up so that I could maybe turn it into a teaching degree, because I was double majoring in literature and history. And I was going to add the teacher certificate on top of that, and boom, I'd be good to go. That's a lot of schooling, first and foremost. That's a lot of time in my parents' house.
Yeah.
No. I would just now be looking for a job in that field if I stuck with that.
No way.
No. And so when I decided, with some pushing from my abusive ex at the time, to, you know, drop out of that and find something else that was going to get me to graduate sooner, because there was no moving out without graduation. Like, they'd set up this, like, roadblock of, unless you've graduated from, like, from college and you've got a job, you know, you're not gonna be able to, like, live on your own. We won't let you live on your own, you know?
Fuck you.
You won't be able to, like, survive on your own without this, right?
Fuck you.
So, when I suddenly decided that, I was going to go in another direction, I wasn't allowed to think about what direction that was going to be. I had to just fucking pick something. And I was gonna try and do something in the trades. I was gonna try and do a heavy equipment operation. And I was throwing that idea around to them because of the amount of money you could make. And they're like, yeah, no, I can't really see you doing that. And they went ahead and told my family at Christmas time, the Christmas that we lost my cousin. She had just died. You know, everyone was really not in the mood for, you know, a family gathering, but they made us do it anyway. And, you know, they decide to, just beforehand, tell everybody that I was planning on doing this thing that I hadn't even, like, formally decided to go into yet. And the entire time, I was being, like, interrogated by every single family member about how I really shouldn't do this, like, masculine job. And do you really think that I could do that? It's just, I can't see you doing that, you know? So then they scared me out of that, and I decided to go and become a professional pencil skirt, because it was the least amount of schooling and something that I thought that I could do. Except, hello, learning disabilities called, and they want the last 9 months that I spent in school back, because I can't actually do the job that I went to, because I do not have the personality type to thrive in a corporate environment. And my dyscalculia and dyslexia get in the way severely of a lot of the things that I would need to do. So even though I'm able to do it with given enough time, I will never be given enough time for me to do that correctly. And in a work environment where your mistakes are so heavily scrutinized, there is no way in hell I'd be able to keep a job. So, and then immediately once I was let go from my last job doing that, they're like, "Well, are you gonna go back to school?"
Oh my god.
Like, no,
No.
I'm not. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I can't do that. It's like, well, you got to find another job then.
Can I
You
just
can't be
fucking think for a
unemployed.
second?
You can't be unemployed.
Why
You
not?
can't be unemployed, or else you got to be going to school.
Why?
And the thing is that there's my mom's projection of what you need to do as a working person. You know, she literally held on trying to close the deal before she could allow herself to have a fucking child. And that's how she wants me to live my life too, you know? And I'm not like that. I do not have the same personality type that's able to make those kind of sacrifices and be able to live with them.
I don't think we'd be friends if you were.
And so now here I am. I work for them because I don't have another job that I can do with my current requirements. And they're teaching me how to fix sewing machines, which is actually quite interesting, and I enjoy that very much. With the promise of when the person that they're going to that's going to be leaving, that's opening up the position for me. When they leaves, I'll be actually making enough to live. But if that person suddenly decides to not leave, I don't actually feel like they'll ever have the guts to say, "No, you quit, get the fuck out, we already hired somebody." Because they only have to start paying me this new wage when she leaves. So they could just say, "Oops, I guess we're gonna keep these two people forever. And I don't actually have to pay you anything extra." And then there's gonna be a whole nother issue if they try and pull that shit.
I mean, if you're doing the work, they should pay you for it.
Yeah, they should. But right now they're like, "Oh, we're just training you right now. So like, until you're able to just do it, like, we shouldn't have to, pay you or whatever." And I find it so hard to argue with them. I do. I really do.
Support and Better Business Bureau. I have a lot of questions. I don't know if you're done though.
I'm just gonna tack on,
Yeah.
because this whole thing that just happened,
Yeah.
with telling my family and all that,
The uncle
I was
shit.
completely out of commission for like the entire weekend because of that.
I know.
And I was just starting to like go up on the upswing. I was down, but I was like starting to like, okay, I can get my shit together just enough to like make it through my work week. And then we can just keep dealing with it as we go. And on the Sunday before, we had to go to work, what turned into me intercepting some food turned into my mom sitting me down and trying to tell me that, well, I mean, he only threatened your life. He didn't like rape or molest you, so it wasn't that bad. To which I had to actually finally tell her that, I was touched in the hospital, and, how fucking dare she? To which, I didn't have to, you know? But, and even if I hadn't, it was that bad. That one thing was that spark, that catalyst to every fucking horrible decision I made out of insecurity that I made for my entire existence until I grew a fucking backbone. And how fucking dare she try and tell me that it wasn't that bad?
Did you hit her?
I did not.
I would have slapped her. I literally would have slapped her across the face and said, "How fucking dare you? You don't get to decide what's traumatic for me or not."
So, and I wish that this was one of those times, like the last time round, you know, that like I can say, I've been through all of this, but now I'm out of it.
No, you're not.
So,
You're living
stick
it.
with it.
It is today.
I'm living it right now. I currently live in an abusive household, and sometimes days are fine. Sometimes things feel even normal. And all of a sudden, when you least expect it, things get bad again. Until you think that, oh, well, though, maybe I'm gonna have to do something drastic. Maybe I need to grab my emergency savings and just, no matter how bad it would be,
Somehow,
to just
somewhere,
start trying
just
to
fucking go.
survive on the absolute bare scraps that you can. Maybe even then that's better than living here. And just when you start to get to that edge, things change up again and they go back to normal. And I have been trying since high school to leave, but I've never been able to get enough money to get out. I'm almost there. I am so fucking close. I have been trying so hard, and I'm so fucking close. Next year is the absolute, maximum amount of time I think I'll need for me to finally have just enough to put a down payment down. And it's still gonna be hard, because ideally I would still need more money saved, but at the amount that I've been paid, there's very little that I can do to save while also paying bills, So,
Have you ever thought
I'm
about
living
leaving the
it.
country?
America's worse.
Depends where you go.
No, America's worse, hon. I need my free healthcare. I have way too many medical issues to give that up.
True.
Have
you ever thought about moving cross country?
I've thought about a lot of things.
Yeah.
I don't know where I'll go when I finally get out. I'll probably live somewhere in the area for the first little bit and then suddenly move somewhere else and not tell them where I went.
What you could do. Plotting. You get an Airbnb and pretend it's your new place somewhere in the area for a month. And then you actually plan your move, literally cross country, and then you'll be 3 hours from me. Boom. Just no contact.
And, originally I was hoping that, if I got out soon enough, that with the limited amount of exposure to them, that I could work on the relationship and still have, half of a relationship. And, then with that, little sliver of a relationship, I can still feel like I have a family, but not have to deal with the bullshit. But, sometimes, especially when it gets real bad, sometimes I don't feel like I could ever keep in contact with them once I leave. And it really just depends on the day, because they can go from, seemingly normal people to being horrible. And I never know which one of them I'm going to get. Especially now that, with the pandemic, things have been especially stressful on them, so they've been taking it out on each other and me. So, and ultimately, I've been trying so hard to patch things up as I exist here, and it's already backfired on me, because they robbed me of my closure, my experience with, trying to get any kind of validation for my trauma. I told them about a traumatic thing And they told everyone for me. I had this plan once upon a time that one day after, I've got my shit together and I'm healed enough to finally, open my heart up again to somebody, and eventually maybe I'd get married to someone. And however long that would be, it wouldn't fucking matter, but eventually that would happen. And that after that, when I was gonna get married to someone, I would have my family at my wedding. Everybody except for that uncle. And that would be my line in my sand. That, like, well, this is me formally excommunicating you from my family. That he was not my family, and that I could actually, have that feeling of cutting him from my family and knowing that anybody that followed him and tried to defend him would no longer be my family either, and I would watch who would stick with me. And whoever stuck with me, I would stick with them until forever. But I don't get that anymore, Now it's just something that was... It was all on their terms, It was their thing. It was no longer my thing. It wasn't my trauma. It was my trauma used for them because they felt it was necessary. And I was robbed. And I feel robbed.
I don't think any of them deserve your presence. I agree with Jeffrey here. Like, I don't think they deserve you at all. But that's up to you to decide ultimately.
Yeah.
And I think as you gain more backbone and more self-respect and just general just fucking disconnecting from them, you're probably going to feel more and more like that as well. Happened with me. I emotionally disconnected very quickly after moving out. It's very nice being free. Well, shit. Hi.
So, at the end of it all,
Yeah.
like, I really wish that I could have a Willie Gets Better. Because, I know it's going to, eventually.
Right.
I have a path in mind.
Sure.
I have strategies. I have a plan. I have a way out, and I'm getting there, but I'm not there yet.
Yeah.
And, I can't say to everybody, well, just get out, Lamau. Because you can't sometimes just get out, Sometimes you just have to grit your teeth and fucking bear it and pick your battles. Decide which...
That's survival mode, yeah.
Which things you're going to not stand for.
Absolutely.
And what's not worth another blow up for,
Yeah.
Like, when my mom gaslit me and tried to tell me that it wasn't, that bad, I'm like... I couldn't yell at her. I couldn't bring myself to yell at her. Because ultimately, we left that conversation with her feeling like she did a good parent thing to calm me down and get me ready for the week. And I was ready to fall apart again. But I let her think that, and I let her do her thing, because it would be worse if I fought back and created an entire family altercation over this. Because for once, they think they're on my side. They're acting directly against my better interest, but they think they're on my side. And they're not antagonizing me right now actively. And I'd like it to stay that way for just a little longer. And so you pick your battles. And once you learn what battles to pick, you learn how to survive. And some days, survival is just the most important thing that you can focus on. And it's okay to just be surviving.
It is okay to just be surviving. Yeah. Yeah, if that's what you need to do, and that's the best thing you can do, then that is the best thing you can do.
I would definitely say, maintaining a support group, maintaining people that you can reach out to, even if it's not physical people, even if it's just over the interweb, staying connected.
Always, Mori.
is the best thing that you can do when you find yourself in situations like this, especially ones that aren't directly escapable right away.
Yeah.
Because you need to keep grounded. And I want to thank you specifically and personally, Waba, for keeping me grounded over this past year and a little bit that we've, like, known each other. Because, you know, you have really helped me and you've been there for me over some really rough nights. We've already seen a few flare-ups in the household that, you know, the first thing I do is come crying to you, you know? So, and you've been really helping me through this. You're the biggest face in my support group. And I really want to tell you, you know, sincerely, I fucking love you, fam.
I love you too, Mori.
Oh no, Waba, don't cry. Oh no, Waba.
Fuck. I don't know if you can see me or not.
I can see you. I've been watching the stream the entire time.
Damn it, you took all the wind out of my sails. I was gonna say that I'm always here for you, Mori.
I'm sorry,
The
Waba.
community is here for you as well, and everyone else. My god.
Waba, you are just so amazing. And I am so lucky to have you as my friend. You have made my life rich. And I am so happy that you are my friend. Well,
I'm happy you're my friend too, alright? Shut the fuck up!
Thank you. Thank you for the hugs. Oh my god.
Fuck.
And so I suppose that's a tale of Mori.
Yeah, Merc. Yeah, it is.
Here I am. You know, every little bit of this turned me into me. Is the really shitty and interesting thing is, you know, all of this made me. You know, I'm here because I managed to survive all of that. So you know.
I agree with Leo. You are a hell of a survivor. And I'm incredibly honored to know you and have been close friends with you for this past year plus, and just the growth that you have had between then and now. It's very apparent to me because I was there for both talks, right? And just knowing you, and I'm incredibly proud of you, Mori, and you're doing good. You're doing great. And you're gonna make it, I think.
Oh,
I know you're gonna make it.
Damn it! I'm not supposed to be the one crying. Damn it!
We're all crying. Yeah, I'm proud of you for being here, Mori, and fucking hell, I did not realize. Yeah, you're right. I did not know everything that you were just unleashed on us, and thank you for unleashing it, though.
Like a band-aid, you know? Sometimes it's best just to get it all in one little tug, and then, you know, then you just, it's out.
Yeah.
And now...
And God, Mori, if I didn't already want to give you, like, the biggest fucking hug in the world, like, just even bigger. And exactly, Lev. Welcome in, by the way. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're taking care of yourself. Crying is not weak, absolutely. Crying is very strong. And I openly cry, always. So, Waba cry, yes.
Hey,
Yes.
would it be unreasonable to get a pepperoni pizza right now?
I love you Frankie just asked me, would it be unreasonable to get a pepperoni pizza right now? No, babe, it would not.
It
That
does
would be
not sound
delightful.
unreasonable. In fact, that sounds like...
I love that.
That sounds delightful. That sounds like some good self-care after tonight's talk.
Oh my god, ladies and gentlemen and all of my non-binary pals, get you a heckin' partner that gets you pizza after you started doing all of this emotional stuff. My god. I need to put that on my shopping list. Fuck.
Deadass, though. Partner goals. Frankie's great. What?
Pizza is closed.
This is tragic. Is Domino's open?
Yeah, but I don't want their pepperoni pizza.
That's okay. Can we get like sausage and pineapple or something?
No, because I'm gonna get pepperoni pizza tomorrow, so I can have the pepperoni pizza I want. I don't want to get pizza 2 days in a row.
But I'm still fine food. Anyway, I have points to make and questions to ask.
Oh yeah.
Hold on, little lady. I have things to say that are important.
Say all the things.
All
I'm
right.
here.
Yeah, well, in case you don't know, we're doing a charity stream, a very fucking relevant charity this week.
Yeah,
Yes,
good job.
thanks.
I'm a broke bitch, but heckin'
I
donate,
know,
okay?
it's okay. We're broke bitches, and it's our job to get y'all to fucking donate all your money to this amazing charity that is actually based in Canada as well. And they help survivors of sexualized violence. And if you or someone else you know has experienced that, please feel free to reach out to WAB. They have a completely free crisis line for both text and call, and trauma-informed and feminist-supported therapy, group sessions, and individuals, and advocacy, and they'll bring you to doctor's appointments and everything. They're great. So there's all that and more. I did want to ask you something. Well, slash, I think I know the answer, but like I think it's a really important point to make as well.
Of course.
Which is that, you know, you just talked us through how you've had a lot of that sexual trauma. I mean, yeah, you were sexually assaulted, straight up.
Yes, I was.
Several times, pretty much, and manipulated into sex and all this. And for you, now I have an answer in my head, and it could be completely wrong, but for you, you know, I look at you and I'm like, you have sexualized yourself, though. You're so big booba, but why?
You know, it's a very interesting thing because
I know
in
that. I
many-
want her to say that, though.
Oh, okay.
That's the point.
I'll stop saying it.
Thanks. Appreciate you, babe. Go on.
the thing is, in some way,
Crust pizza?
you know, I still really want to, like, you know, present myself in a way that is desirable, and I want to feel that that validation. And I feel also like, you know, I'm a bit living vicariously through my model, presenting myself in a way that's like, you know, well, this is me if I could do whatever the fuck I wanted, right? This is me without any parental control. I can dye
Right.
my hair. I can dress the way I want. You know, there is no repercussions for dressing this way.
Nope.
I won't be accused of, like, not respecting myself or something.
Nope.
So, you know, I feel like a better version of myself in this way. And it is a very highly sexualized way, but it's on my terms.
Yes.
And I have
exactly.
opened, you know, what my boundaries are in that way, so I can interact with an audience in a way that it's a pretty sexual exchange. I flirt with my chat quite a bit. I do fansly
Absolutely.
streams, you know. I have a very sexual persona, but it's completely on my terms and I'm completely in control. I am not for your entertainment unless I want to be. And I am there only as your entertainment until I don't want to be. So I can turn it on and I can turn it off. And it's not up to anyone else but me. So I feel like it's a part of me reclaiming my sexuality, if anything else.
Yep. 110 fucking %. Yeah. Basically, the point I was trying to make, or is having you make for yourself, is that it's about control, and it's about, the ball is in your court. You are allowed to, objectify yourself if you so wish to. And if someone oversteps your boundaries, you are allowed to block and ban them and tell them fuck off, and you're in control and you're in consent of your own fucking destiny and your own fucking model. And if we literally want to break the fucking booba slider, you goddamn will, because it's in your power to do so. And I have. And you have.
I will further if I
and you'll do it
want
more.
To.
Yes, you will. Because I know you have already. Which is hilarious to me, and I love it. I thrive on the chaos that you are.
You gotta get some entertainment from somewhere, right?
I agree. Nobody listens to Mori, everyone, but thank you for listening to Mori. Amazing content creator.
Jeez.
Hi, Shaw the Gamer. You have come in at the end of Mental Health Monday. You can catch this on YouTube in a couple days or so.
Yeah, you have my full permission to put the entire thing up. No need to edit anything out or anything.
Oh, I wasn't going to. I don't usually. Unless someone requests it, in which case it's okay. Yes. Feel free to go do the thing with the ringing the bell and the hitting the subscribe on YouTube. Oh, I thought I alerted mutes. I thought I muted alerts. Oops. Thanks for the follow. Welcome in. I'm a proudly nobody that listens to Mori. A nobody that listened to Mori. That's so adorable. Merrick, we love you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you everyone for being here. Mori, do you have anything else to say or add on or end this with?
Can I just be an absolute fucking sap for a second and just say that everybody that's been so supportive and amazing to come here and just listen to a fucking heave of trauma is just incredible. And I appreciate you all so much for just staying with me through this fucking dumpster fire of a history.
This is one that I might play back later, honestly.
It's a lot,
Yeah.
And I hate to be that person. It's oh, there's so much. I've been through so much shit. Because, some people, kind of wear that as, a personality. I never want to be like that, I never talk about this sort of thing. But I felt like it was about time the opportunity presented itself. And from what I saw, last time I was here, I felt like just hearing, where I've been and how I did everything, when we were talking about my eating disorder,
right.
I saw, people were very glad to have heard, what I had to say, and to feel like they weren't alone. And so, I have lots of distinct examples of everything that fits under the category that we're talking about right now. And I wanted people to not feel like they're alone either.
Absolutely.
I'm here, I'm living it, and I understand.
Want to come back in May for eating disorders again?
Sure. Come in with a checkup. Talk about everything.
Absolutely. Check up, just a rehash. but also how you've progress. Your progress, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Relationships with food is hard, friends.
It is. Oh
It's
my
fucking
fucking god, is it ever? Oh yeah.
I'm happy that you feel more human listening to the podcast today, Levy.
Oh, hi Levi.
Oh, you know Levi?
Yeah, they're one of mine.
Oh.
They're one of the RSMs. So
Oh, man,
same
how
as
did I not
Chad.
recognize them?
Chad
I
is
recognize
amazing.
Chad, yeah.
Levi's great. Chad is great.
I'm supposed to be a super mod, and yet I can't even mod enough for Mori to know all the names in chat. Boo.
I pay special close attention to all of my people because, you know, once you've seen the name like more than once, you know,
Yeah.
for me still, like,
sticks,
I
right?
pay super close attention because, you know, I really want to make them feel special and like
Absolutely.
welcome and stuff. So, you know, and everybody's been, oh, my Sims have been so nice to me, and they've been so supportive during this time too, you know, because I was indisposed. I didn't stream for an entire fucking week. That's not normal for me. But everyone's like, no, just fucking rest. God damn it, do what you need to do. And I'm like, okay, fine, I'll rest. Okay.
Better fucking rest. I swear to God, just tuck you in. Just do a sleep stream, Mori. Just fucking put Mori under a blanket, close her eyes, sleep stream. 24/7 sleep stream, Mori. Let's go.
I don't know if I could ever do that. I talk in my sleep. Don't want anything spicy to come out.
It's fine. Just mute the mic.
But then what? What's the fucking point? I might as well just like leave my model up.
Fine, I'll shove the mic up your ass so everyone can. I don't know.
Kinky, but no.
just we'll put a mic next to your mouth, and all we'll hear is. Fuck me.
No.
Fuck me, chat daddy.
No, fuck no.
Sounds of the human bowels are not sexy. You don't know.
It's someone's fetish. It's not my fetish.
I mean, Alinity put a mic to her ass and farted into it, and she got a fuck ton of money about it. So, all right. Anyway, we should get out of here.
Tangent, as we do.
We should get out of here before we. Exactly. All right. Bye, Mori. I love you.
I love you too, Waba
Love
dear.
you. Bye.
Come catch Waba live, only on Twitch.
Oh my god. Hi. How's it going? My name is Waba. Welcome into the Mental Health Talk Place and Career Safe Space. I hope you're doing well and hope you're taking care of yourself out there. That was Mental Health Monday. And I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you're all doing well. You're going good. That's great to hear. I'm going to go find someone to raid while I also simultaneously plug myself. But yeah, we do Mental Health Monday every single Monday. We do a check-in. The VOD is deleted as well. I put the interviews up on YouTube by Wednesday. And we're doing this talk all month long. Next week, we have on... drumroll please, we have on Frienden, who is another fellow artist. I think Potch actually introduced me to him. And Plumbob, Wrecked Wizard's wife, Plumbob Princess, who is a Sims streamer, part of the Black Baddies crew, I think, or something like that. Frienden? Yes, Frienden. Yes, Frienden. Where the fuck has he been? He's been busy. I jumped in a VC of his when he came back from it was like a vacation or something. But yeah, he's been doing good. Let me find the right poster here. This is what we do, by the way, generally speaking, but we're mental health focused first. We're a support system, a peer support system. I have training in mental health counseling. I'm no one's therapist, but always your fiercest advocate. So mental health and check-in and venting focused first, and gaming second. We do all this. Dungeons and Dragons, Sims, Final Fantasy, Stardew Valley. I might become a Stardew Valley streamer. Who the fuck knows? But yeah, Friendin's been good. It's been nice meeting you. I subbed to your YouTube, so I'll keep an eye out for the upload. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. There's other streamer mental health videos coming out right now. Actually, Potchfad, yours came out today, and I forgot to promote it. I'm sorry. Feels bad. I've just been so busy with today in general. Let's see. Okay, I'm not gonna raid there. Let's see who's on. It's a good place to be. It is an excellent place to be. Let's see here. Who? Well, you know, 2 people found me just fucking randomly. So if I just type in mental health Monday, and loves you too. I have no idea who this is. So let me go scope them out for a quick minute here. What are they about? TikTok. Let's see here. Maybe I'll scope them out another time. I don't know. Unless someone has someone. I'll take... What was on? Where do we want to go? Do we want to go to another Mental Health Monday? Wiley12, I don't know them. That's sure. They seem cool. Oh, they're on a Be Right Back screen. We'll wait for them to come back, and then we'll go rate them. But yeah. Oh, also, heck, I know there's a lot of things on my screen, but like, do the check-in if you hadn't already before. Just to real fucking quick. Why can't I find that? There we go. Oh, why? I'm probably at like a 3 now. I started today at a 2, but now I'm at a 3. I'm gonna pass out after. Yeah, honestly.